Good afternoon, everyone. We're just starting in 5 minutes. Dear authors and invited guests, welcome to Technical Session 6A. Myself, Deepika Jain, and this session would be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation and GR Scholastic LLP, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the 9th International Conference and Communication Technology for Competitive Strategies ICTCS 2024 Jaipur, India. The ninth edition of the conference is being organized in a hybrid mode. The physical event was held yesterday in Jaipur, and the virtual event is being held today and tomorrow, that is 20 and 21st December 2024. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions throughout the day. In this session, we have 10 presentations, and each presenter would be getting 8 minutes for the presentation and 2 minutes for question and answers. On 7 minutes, I will be raising a gentle reminder. Okay, and there is another request for the participants to please stay with us till the end of the session. And if you have any queries, you can just drop me a chat in the box. And just before we start the session, I would like to introduce to our session chair, Dr. Paras Kothari. Dr. Paras Kothari is a professor and head at Geetanjali Institute of Technical Studies, Udaipur, India. He is experienced head of training with a demonstrated history of working in the professional training and coaching industry. He is skilled in PHP databases, mobile applications, window communications, foundation, and Android development. He is also a strong operations professional with a Doctor of Philosophy PhD focused in marketing management applications from Mohanlal Sukhadia University. I welcome you, sir. All right, we would be starting our first presentation. Just a minute. Okay, do we have Kanchana Devi here? Whose paper title is A Comprehensive Review on Hybrid IT Framework with Genetic Crypto System for Big Data Security.
Um, Justin is here. Justin is going to present that paper.
Hello, yes, sir.
My name is Justin. I'm going to present on that paper.
Okay, you are going to present on behalf of her. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Okay, so you can start sharing your screen.
My name is Justin. So I'm going to explain on this topic a comprehensive review on hybrid IT framework with genetic crypto system for big data security. So So in today's world, we can see a rapid change in digital transformation. There is a rapid change in digital transformation in computing industry. So if we take an example for, we can say past 20 years, before 20 years, we used to save the data. We used to save the data in pen drives, CDs, hardwares. From that generation, we have reached to a generation where we used to store the data in cloud spaces. Most of the organizations are moving from on-premise storage infrastructure to cloud infrastructures due to various reasons like cost effectiveness and scalability and flexibility. So in this scenario, we need to ensure the privacy and protection. So how effectively the data stores in cloud system with encryption, and how effectively the data is decrypted and retrieved to the user end. So in this area, this project come to a play with a genetic crypto system where encryption and decryption is happening. Uh, so coming to the abstract point, so in this genetic crypto system, the designed effectively to store and retrieve cloud space data. So in this genetic crypto system, use asymmetric key encryption standard. Also, it uses a unique combination of mathematical concepts like modular arithmetic and time factorization for encryption and decryption process. The system is based on Peleus crypto system. uh, as it uses the asymmetric keys, it has public keys and private keys. So coming to the introduction part, so as I discussed, in this world, digital transformation is taking place rapidly. So as the result, there's a massive increase in the data. Day by day, we have to deal with a lots of data. So in this scenario, this genetic ecosystem is an effective tool to store and retrieve the data in cloud spaces or on-premise infrastructures in real time. To ensure the privacy protection, we use public key encryption and failure crypto system. So the main motivation behind this project is the increasing data volume and complexity. Day to day lives, we can see the data is we are dealing with lots of data. We are storing it in clouds. We are using more spaces to store the data. And authentication challenges. We have to encrypt and decrypt. The time taken to encrypt and decrypt will take more, and the challenges, security breaches will come. And coming to the hybrid IT environment, nowadays most of the companies are working on a hybrid mode, where they use on-premises and cloud infrastructures to store the data. So in that area, this will very helpful for the security reasons. Coming to the next point, resilience against cyber threats. Nowadays, we know that there are lots of cyber threats are happening in the society. So we need to encrypt the data. We need to protect our data from getting stolen. So we need more secure encryption, more secure. We need to generate more secure keys so that the cyber threat people can't attack the keys and dictate, and they can decrypt the data. So literature review for developing this paper and project, we have gone through almost 16 research papers which discuss about various topics like RSA, PLS crypto system, homomorphic encryption, the various types of homomorphic encryption like fully homomorphic encryption. So we have taken reference from these papers to coming to develop this project. These are the papers. And coming to the architecture diagram. So this is the basically architecture diagram where we used to first we will input the data, and the data will be converted into bytes, and it will generate a random number, and which is less than the total bit length of the inputted message, and it will split the data into two uh, areas, and it will perform the encryption. First, it will create a private key, and it will encrypt the data first. After that, it will perform the public key generations and encrypt the data. After the second, it will act as a second encryption. After that, it will store it in the cloud spaces, and we will perform an Palias encryption in the private key, which is generated in the by the system. So it will doing that, we will get more security on the if the attackers somehow they capture the public key, they can't capture the private key because it's already again encrypted by again another encryption standard Payload crypto system. So these are the sample screenshots of the project that we have developed. We are using a key length of 2048 bit, and we are from the key we are using the developing the keys for prime factorization and other keys for public keys. And this is how the data is stored in the cloud. Like first it will you can see the public keys are generated. These are the public keys, and again you can down you can private keys, and these are the private keys, and below that you can see the ciphertext. And this in that this is how the ciphertext is stored in the cloud, two clouds. So input text is encrypted and stored in the cloud. So the decryption process is the direct reverse process of this one. This is how the data stored in the cloud after encryption process. So for this testing purpose, we have used a file of size 100 KB, which contains numbers, numeric characters, alphabets, special characters, everything. So this is the whole structure of this genetic crypto system. That's all for this presentation. Thank you. Hello. Is my voice audible, right?
Yes, you were audible.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you for your presentation, Jasmine. Any questions, sir? Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so we have our, just a minute. Next presenter with us, who would be presenting a paper on a study on fostering emotional green leadership, advancing sustainability in higher education. Reena?
Yes, ma'am. I'm there. I'll
Yes,
share my
yes,
screen.
you can start sharing your screen.
Hope my screen is visible.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone.
Yes, good evening. Am I audible, Ms. Ankita?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're
I
audible, sir.
think there was something with the last presentation.
You had
Anyway,
a
please.
question, sir?
Yeah, I was asking, but I think my voice was not reaching
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
I
you, yeah.
logged in with another account. Anyway, no. Please carry on,
Okay.
Lina, madam.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So, my presentation is on a study on fostering emotional green leadership, advancing sustainability in higher education. I'm Dr. Reena and I'm from SIMS Pune. So coming to the background, why I have selected this is because nowadays in higher education, we are talking about sustainability as well, which is very important. So in private, semi-government and public organization across the globe, sustainability goals are being promoted. Even higher education nowadays are promoting sustainable. So at the same time, it also promotes sustainable development for citizens and corporation because if we are giving the students education on sustainability, they later on become sustainable citizens who are following the sustainability and actually like helping in preservation of our earth. Higher education can influence various labels of sustainable development goals through education, research, management, governance, and leadership. In this case, leadership plays a very vital role because leaders can promote the value of sustainability and can incorporate it in students as well as citizens. And what best could be the source rather than a higher education, where when we are giving the students the concept of sustainability, they become much better citizens later on and start doing wonders for our environment. Then here in the introduction part, green leadership is a concept which is very important. Green leaders are the people who are actually uh, you can say they are promoting sustainability. They are the one who are incorporating the ideas regarding the benefits of sustainability, and these in turns would be also giving certain kind of knowledge, and they would be sharing the experiences with the students as well, so the students can become a much better leaders who is promoting sustainability. Sustainability in higher education has attracted considerable attention over the last 2 decades. Green transformational leadership in higher education can play an essential role in achieving the educational goal of sustainability. Nowadays, every institutes, every corporates, they are looking forward for sustainability, and ESG has been taken in a very big way. So, education sector is one good platform where students can be much more better sustainable leaders. Then I have proposed a model here which has been patented, and this paper is based on my patent. So since I thought that there is a need for preserving our environment, and for that we need green leaders to do these things, that is why this model has been proposed and has been already patented. And the background of the proposed model was that the universe, like we know, it has been blessed with very limited resources. So all the resources are scanty and populations are also increasing. But if we are able to sustain our resources in a very good way, so we can leave something for our younger generation, and later the people would be coming, they can use that. So because of that, we need more sustainable leaders who understand the concept of sustainability, and they can do much more better, and they can actually harness the idea amongst others. So there is a short data, like the world population is expected to increase by 2 billion next 30 years. And these are the data what I have collected. So I won't dwell on that. Then coming to the proposed model, the emotional green leadership, it emphasizes the development of leaders with the emotional understanding to empathizers. Because nowadays, if you see, there are many leaders who don't understand what empathy is all about. They are like, some leaders are ruthless, some are empathic. So if you're empathizing on the sustainability, then we can become much more better. We can commit much more to the ecology of the environment. And this leadership style can help in developing the idea of sustainability. So green leadership are the ones who actually are doing all these things. And these things can come from higher education. It has got an immense potential where our future generation can understand the concept and they can work on that. The study explores the concept of emotional green leadership within higher education. It examines the potential to transform campuses into incubators of sustainable practices. It investigates how emotional intelligence can enhance leaders' capacity to engage and inspire others. So here leaders are playing a very vital role who can inspire people to understand the requirement and become much more sustainable. So a certain literature review I have done where people talk about the concept of green leadership, the role of leadership, and like how this can help the future generation. Even UNESCO has declared the UN Decade of Education for Sustainable Development. So everyone in the world is talking about sustainable development, and green leadership is definitely better in this regard. So, but there are certain threats also, because people are not understanding the idea of sustainability. So we're trying to, the more and more people don't understand, then our environment is becoming much more threatened. So because for this, there is a requirement of real leadership and their ideas how to prevent all this. This can be incorporated in corporates, it can be incorporated in education sector also. But since education sector is the base where students are coming and they're learning so many things, so this idea can actually help them in developing this. The objectives of this model was to provide a system that shows that emotionally intelligent leaders and green leadership lead to a sustainable higher education sector, to develop a system highlighting that emotional intelligence leaders lead toward a sustainable higher education sector, to provide a system
Presenter,
highlighting.
you have 2 minutes left.
Okay. So this is the proposed model where I have three components. One is the emotional intelligent leader who can, through their ideas and experiences, can can go for green leadership, and this in return would give a sustainable higher education sector. Apart from that, we have few other components also. The emotional intelligent leader can be very empathetic. They can incorporate sympathy among the people. Then they can be a change agent. They can be technologically very strong. They can be an effective counselor, and they can be very psychologically, they would be increased psychological functioning in them. All this, when combined together with green leadership, can have emotional, intelligent student and faculty because they will understand the concept and are trying to incorporate. Psychologically strong students and faculty, motivated students and faculty. This will lead to confident students, technological strong students, and they would be much more better in increased adaptability. So these all combined together will give a sustainable higher education sector. Then the model summary is the implementation of the system that shows that emotionally intelligent leaders and green leadership lead to the sustainable higher education sector. The proposed system highlights the emotional intelligent leaders and green leadership with their various components lead towards a higher education, sustainable higher education system. Overview of the system, the model outlines a framework where emotionally intelligent leaders and green leadership converge to foster a sustainable higher education sector through a series of diagrams, like I have already explained. The relationship between these leadership styles and their components are visually presented. This is the interrelationship and impact. The model underscores the interrelated nature, where emotional intelligent leaders and green leadership all combined together can work better for a higher education sector, where we can have emotional intelligent leaders. And this will definitely lead to a sustainable environment and sustainable education sector as well. So to conclude, it is actually need of the hour to have green leaders and green leadership style, which will be incorporating much better knowledge among the students as well as the citizens to be much better sustainable leaders. And this would be definitely increasing the sustainability of our environment. And looking forward, this has got very high potential in institutes, in higher education sectors, and students can incorporate this definitely and can also provide better results, because if you're a sustainable leader, you can save money. Cost cutting would be there, and saving money would be there. Motivated personals would be there. All these things combined together would definitely be making the environment better as well as the organization much more competitive. So these are the references. Thank you so much. Any questions, sir?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Sir, any questions?
Yes, Madam Reena, I just want to like to ask one question. According to SDG 4, right, sustainable education में अगर हम बात करें तो sustainable development जो goals है, वो goal number 4 जो है वो quality education का, right?
Correct, sir.
So how you are seeing this fourth goal? What are the basic objectives of this fourth goal which you can associate with your study?
Sir, when we are talking about education system, like I have like already explained, so education system is okay, sir. Like, we are having students, we are having faculties and all those. But to some extent, students don't understand the concept of sustainability. So where like corporates and everyone is working towards that. We need to, even all the leaders, like, world leaders are there talking about sustainability. So here, if from the beginning, if you're giving a knowledge to the students that how sustainability is very, very important. So this students going forward
So my question is how we can do that with your study?
Sir, like here I've said, like if the leaders are very good, like the faculties, they understand the concept, they can incorporate that idea to the student as well. And being faculties, what we can do is we can take small, small steps where we can incorporate the sustainability. For example, instead of going for papers, like, if you, like printing, we can go online also, right? So if we are recruitment process also, if you're taking online recruitment process also, that saves money, that saves time, and also we can like provide better sustainability knowledge to the students. So that was my entire study all about.
So mainly the faculty will contribute to develop the
Yes,
SDG
and
4.
in return, they would become a much better knowledgeable citizen who
Students.
can. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Raw material to prepare the good raw material.
Correct,
Good
correct,
faculty
correct,
can
correct,
do.
correct.
And is there any scope from the student side to pursue the same goal?
Yes, sir. The students can also pursue it because, see, sir, like today, if I become a leader in the corporate, obviously I can also go ahead and preach that this is what is really required now. And that way students can also do these things. So just little by little, like a drop by drop can make a ocean. So that way.
Okay, that's great. Okay, thank you. All the best.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Good day.
Good day.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
So yes,
So we have, yeah, yeah,
sorry, Deepika, please.
yes, yes. We have our next presenter, Ankita, with us, who would be presenting a paper on a thematic analysis of user expectation for the future version of ChatGPT. Yes, ma'am, you can start sharing your screen.
Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Respected chair, sir, and all the other fellow members in the room, a very good evening to all of you. So I am Dr. Ankita Bhatia. I am currently pursuing as assistant professor from SIMS Pune. So today I'm going to talk about a thematic analysis, what users of users' expectations for the future version of ChatGPT. So basically,
Sorry to interrupt you, Dr. Ankita. Can you put it in the presentation mode?
sure, sir. Sir, is it visible now?
Yeah, it is visible. Please carry on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So basically, I did this study a little way back where I did the open-ended survey and I tried to understand that what exactly or currently the chat GPT features are holding. And after conducting the interviews, a short thematic analysis was performed to understand what future expectations users do have and what they want to see that a chat GPT should incorporate in it. So I would like to go ahead with this flow that what ChatGPT's overview is all about, what user demographics I had targeted in my study, what were the key users' expectations that were highlighted in this study. Going forward in subsequent slides, I'm going to talk about it. What is the significance of this research and what is the future development focus? So, as we all know that a chat GPT is a conversational AI developed by OpenAI, and we are celebrating its second birth anniversary that we already celebrated in the November, and it is designed to enhance the human computer interaction through advanced text generation capabilities. Now, I had targeted the participants. This study actually surveyed 371 participants, including students, professionals, educators, researchers, and to ensure that they are highlighting their diverse user needs and expectations. So there were two open-ended questions also, and there was also a simultaneous quantitative study that was being carried out. But for this study exclusively, these open-ended questions were analyzed. So these two open-ended questions were: what features or functionalities would you like to see in future versions of ChatGPT? And the second one was: what challenges have you faced while using ChatGPT that need improvement? I used the software NVivo version 12 for performing the thematic analysis, and this was the six-step process. So it initially the data was collected as I had already told about. Then I used the Braun and Clark six-step thematic analysis approach to systematically and analyze the qualitative data which was gathered. Then it was followed by identifying the themes. So initially, codes were generated from user responses that led to the key themes related to users' expectations. After that, the themes were reviewed and defined, and it was ensured that these are in line with the research objectives that should focus on users' needs and feedback. So and finally, it was reporting the findings. A comprehensive report was generated that was visualizing users' expectations and highlighting the insights for future ChatGPT development. Now, coming directly to the themes which was generated, and later on, I'll be sharing some snippets from the outputs which was generated by NVivo software by me. So these are some of the highlights which talks about the users' expectations, which the users were actually wanted to foresee in the future development or in the future version of ChatGPT. First was the accuracy and consistency. So users were expecting more precise and reliable responses. As my respondents were majorly from the IT, education, and healthcare sectors, so they were expecting more accurate answers because some hallucination errors were identified in their responses. By then, I think by now, various multimedia capabilities have already been incorporated in ChatGPT. But during my survey, this was also highlighted by the users that there is a strong demand for enhancing audio and video features to improve the interactivity and engagement. Then it was also demanded by the users that they want to see the chat GPT to automate the routine tasks such as reporting and basic coding to boost the productivity. And the foremost and the important factor expectation was the data security. When the study was being conducted, respondents were little apprehensive about the security measures, and they wanted that these are essential to address the concerns about the plagiarism and cybersecurity. And real-time data analysis, which still has not, we cannot see that that much extent the latest version has been able to incorporate, is that users anticipated that the ability to access and analyze real-time data should be more relevant and the timely responses were demanded. So these were the key themes identified from the users' feedback. So, like these were the gaps in the literature of the chat GPT that was also studied, that there should be an integration of user feedback. Why this study was done is that so that after having the user's feedback, it will not lead to a disconnect between the user needs and AI capabilities. And some customized and bespoke versions can come out, which can cater and focus to the specific sectors like healthcare and education. And it can also it was also notable that there is an absence of research that addressed that there was a lack in the language versions of the chat
Dear
GPT.
presenter, you have 2 minutes left.
Yeah. And still, some things are not in place, which are still absent, and we can draw from the literature is that there are ethical and regulatory concerns which are still persisting and prevailing in the areas of, or maybe in the domain of generative AIs and AIs. And there was also a lack of longitudinal research that was drawn after doing the research to track the changes in users' expectations over the time. So this was the data collection and analysis procedure, like survey design, participant recruitment, data collection, data analysis using utilized NVivo software, and findings and interpretations. So here are some of the implications of the finding for future development. If those expectations which were foreseen by the users would be incorporated, or by now have been incorporated, most of them would definitely enhance the accuracy, followed by integrating the multimedia features to enrich users' interaction and support diverse applications, streamlining the processes to boost productivity across industries, to avoid the plagiarisms and ensures the user's privacy and facilitating the real-time analysis. So if these incorporations takes place, the future research directions could be taken in AI development is like by catering to expand the user base by conducting the benchmark studies that could identify unique advantages and areas for improvement, by also implementing the longitudinal studies to track changes in users' expectations to adapt to the features and functionalities, to enhance the ethical oversight, like to develop interdisciplinary collaborations to address ethical and regulatory issues if there are any in AI development. And there should be more focus on user-centric design that will prioritize your feedback in the design process to ensure AI tools that meet the dynamic user needs effectively. That's all from my end. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation, ma'am. Sir, any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Ankita. I have just one one query in my mind. What challenges did you find in your study which is directly related with the user, or we can say which can give more focus on the user acceptance of the next version of ChatGPT?
Sir, when this study was conducted, then it was drawn that most of the answers or responses which the users were getting actually were up to a limited time period. I cannot recall the exact time period, but some real-time answers were not coming up.
Yes.
And they were also expecting, especially from the data analytics field, that if more coding assistance or the depiction or the analysis of codes can be done. And for users who have registered for free, now it is available at the premium cost that you can use the video and audio features. But still, if that can be also, be accessible to the users which are using it for free. And for educators also, some of the responses that were drawn or which they saw were not correct. And the biggest challenge which we saw that the researchers were getting was many of the references which the chat GPT was generating were not the actual references. So it was really highlighting the cause of concerns that if those references were not being verified again and corrected, then that could be a cause of the retraction of the papers and could pose ethical concerns and maybe ethical oversights, and some legal issues can also be faced by the researchers, which if they have used those references not by verifying
Okay,
it.
so but as you suggested in future research direction, the fifth direction focus on user-centric design. Did you find any user-centric challenge during your study?
Mm, Sir, like in which sense, by incorporating the features you meant to tell by OpenAI?
Yeah, you may suggest a feature to the OpenAI, or you can give some suggestion for the existing features, okay, that can be included as the user-centric design is required.
Yes, yes, sir. So, like in the paper, it has been detailed out because the my demographic respondents were categorized into educators and for IT professionals. For every category, we have highlighted that what could be the different expectations pertaining to their diverse needs. That what should be for researchers, what should be for educators. Like they should be verified from the authentic resources. If the educator wants to study on particular theory, so that should be well identified and cross-checked with the authentic textbooks before giving them to the users. So that
Did you
will
classify
authenticate.
the users also according to their technical knowledge and technical acceptance?
Yes, sir. In paper, we have done that, but not in presentation. I have shown it.
No issue. Okay, thank you. All the best. Good luck.
So thank you, sir. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You can stop sharing your screen. Okay. All right. We have our next presenter with us. Just a minute. Raj Popat, who would be presenting a paper on Content is King, the development of content-based recommendation engine filtering. Yes, sir. Are you here?
Yes,
Yeah, you can start sharing your screen.
Uh, did we skip the one paper in between?
yeah, I think one paper
Yeah,
is
because
skipped.
she's not present
Yeah.
here right now, sir.
Sorry. Instead of her, I'm presenting.
Yeah.
Okay, please carry on.
Okay, this is visible.
Hello. Just a
Yes,
minute.
yes.
Sorry for interruption.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, before this one paper was there, no
If there
analysis.
is a paper, Kushal is the
Yeah,
presenter. Are you?
yes. Yeah,
Okay.
instead of her, I am presenting.
Okay, so you can do it, no problem.
Uh,
Raj, you can just stop sharing the screen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Shri, what's your name, sir?
Srinidhi.
Srinidhi. Okay, fine, sir.
Yeah, is
You
it
can
visible?
see. Yes, sir. It's visible. Start, sir.
Yeah. Our title is Analyzing the Throughput Performance of V2X Sidelink, PSCCH and PSSCH channels. This is basically for a channel resource allocation in V2X communication, or we can say V2X is the vehicle to infrastructure. And coming to introduction, vehicle to vehicle communication, this is a key technology for enabling connected vehicles. As we can see nowadays, many advanced technologies came in the automobile sectors, like blind detection, blind detection technology, and on the basis of that only, we have made a prototype. Like we are planning to make a prototype where how resources are allocated, like how there will be a many vehicles, so how exactly and accurately resources are sent and communicated. So importance is here, efficiently allocating resources is essential to ensure reliable and timely data exchange between vehicles. As now I said, our focus is on dynamic resource allocation, where where it can be easily allocated in many traffic, and where vehicle density is more. The proposed approach is a method that dynamically adjusts resource allocation based on real-time SCI BLER measurements. These are the measurements, these are the values, where these improving these values means improving the values. We can communicate, or we can send the accurate data. We can communicate, vehicle to vehicle communication can be done easily. So the goal is to optimize resource use while maintaining good communication quality. Yeah. So this we have done in MATLAB. So it's just a prototype, still going. Research is going on. So purpose of this here, this figure shows the resource pool, where many resources are there. First chapter. So coming key components here is first channel's index, indicates the starting index of the subchannel, and RIV is the resource indication value, time gap, and side link index offset. That graph represents x-axis is the ranges from 1 to 10, representing different time slots. Y-axis is the resource blocks ranging from 0 to 50. Here we have considered the 50 resource blocks, where within and consider the time slot as 1 to 10. So within that time slots, how many resource we can allocate. And the data represents horizontal bars represents different resource blocks over multiple subframes, and the bar alternate between yellow and blue, indicating different allocations or use patterns. This yellow and blue. So coming to the result part, this SCI BLER is a side link control information block error rate. This measures the error rate in control information blocks. So error rate, while error rate is less, our data communication is better or good, we can say. SLSH throughput is side link shared channel throughput, measures the data transmission efficiency. In the simulation conditions, we put as the analyze. This is performed under different signal to noise ratio. SNR, we have performed this in this condition to test system robustness and efficiency. So conditional checks in code. These are the default codes, law or from library codes. We have used this. So these are the results. This figure A represents the block error rate in the relation to SNR, and figure B represents graphical interface throughput in the relation with signal to noise ratio. So first figure A plotting results is the x-axis is SNR ranging from -5 to 5, and y-axis is the block error rate ranging from 0 to 100. Data representation, a blue dashed line with a star mark shows that the BLR remains low across all SNR values. This indicates Yeah, this indicating the stable communication. So next figure B's represent is the x-axis is SNR as from previous -5 to 5, and y-axis we took as a throughput ranging from 0% to 10%. Here throughput is the measure amount where the data can successfully transmitted out within the given time. So the representation is the blue dotted line shows that the throughput increases with SNR reaching near maximum to 0 dB, indicating efficient data transmission. So we can see that after reaching here, that data transmission after certain point, it will stabilizes. So conclusion is that the simulation framework for V2X channel side link offers valuable insights into the performance. These key components are like side link control channels and side link shared channels under different SNR conditions. And the analysis highlights important trends and behaviors in SCI, BLER, and SCH throughput, which aids in making informed decisions for system optimization and parameter tuning. Here, the major target is vehicle person in the vehicle should get the correct data, like correct communication where the vehicle is at, and the distance between the two vehicles, and what is the distance between the current vehicle and blind spot and the vehicle at the blind spot. So here the future scope is advanced channel models, dynamic resource allocation, interference mitigation techniques, traffic management and optimizations, autonomous vehicles, and emergency vehicle notification, etc. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. Sir, any question?
No question this time. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Srinidhi. Thank you. Okay, Raj Popat, are you here?
Yes, yes, I'm
Yes.
starting.
You can start, sir.
Okay, is this visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Ras Popat, currently pursuing BTech in Information Technology at the Charusat University. So my topic is content-based scheme, the development of content-based recommendation engine filtering. So as the name suggests, I'm talking about the recommendation, right? So there are some outlines of my presentation, introduction, motivation, and methodologies. After that, we can see some significance and applications, comparative analysis, conclusion, and references. Okay. So in today's digital landscape, we know that recommendation system are crucial in helping a user to navigate through the vast amount of content, providing a personalized suggestion to enhance the user experience. These systems are the widely used in e-commerce, media, news, and social platforms like Instagram and all other social media platforms. The rise of recommendation engine has progressed along with the groundbreaking developments in data-driven AI, leading to various techniques like collaborative filtering, content-based filtering, and hybrid approach. So these three are total three type of recommendation system, wherein content-based we mainly focus into the content, right? And second approach is collaborative recommendation system. And if I give a briefly introduction of both of these types, let's take an example of a movie recommendation application, right? So there are two users, me and my friend. So I like most adventures movies, right? So what I do, I see the all adventures related movies into this that application. Then my friend also like the movies or the films which is related to adventure related movies. So if third person is come and if she or he also like that particular type of movies, then that particular type of movies will be recommended to that particular user. So it fully depend on the content what user are watching or seeing in their application, right? And the second type is collaborative. So it is fully depend on the interaction of the users. If I liked or I rate 5 star on that particular adventure movie, then it will be it will be chances that if someone else who also like the adventure movies will suggest that movie into that movie recommendation application, right? And a last step, which is a hybrid, which combination of both content and collaborative. It is this type of recommendation is highly accurate to the user's expectations. Okay. The digital era has created an overwhelming amount of content. There are total two main reasons to develop this content-based filtering algorithm. Because nowadays most of applications are using a collaborative approach, and there are some disadvantages related to that particular approach. So first one is cold start problem. Uh, is a problem where user doesn't have a much amount of data that our model required, right? Any machine learning model or any recommendation model must require the data. And if the user is new or the user is not interacting with that particular data, then we cannot find the data to train our model and give a recommendation to that particular user. Okay, go for the objective. The primary objective of this research to be advance the development of personalized recommendation by these two types. First is feature extraction. In content-based algorithm, what we can do, we can extract the features from the data. For example, we are talking about the movies, right? So we can extract the feature of that particular data by extract the audio, extract the images, extract the title of that particular movie. And this particular data extracted feature help us to recommend more accurately recommend to the user, right? Second thing is machine learning. So yeah, machine learning, of course, machine learning use that particular extracted feature to build a robust user profile and generate the accurate recommendation even with minimum data. Okay, so same as methodology, we use a feature extraction first, that we collect the data extracted from the main data. Like in a movie, we can extract the audio and images or the titles, then we include that to the predefined model, pre-trained model, like a CNN model for images and MFCC for the audio files. Second thing we are doing is user profiling. We create a group of peoples with cluster, that particular cluster having a same interest rate, and second cluster that have a different interest. So we can use some models of machine learning like SVM or ANN or any other very accurate model to recommend the particular data or the item to that cluster. Then we can use the evaluation matrix. As we know, in any machine learning, evaluation is a must. Then we can use the recall and accuracy and all other that parameters of evaluation matrix to uh, accurate recommendation. Okay. So content-based recommendation system offers significant advantages by addressing a data scarcity and cold start problem through item-specific attribute. That two problems are related to collaborative approach, and that content-based recommendation algorithm is solving that two problems. Second one is enabling a personalized experience using user preference and content attributes, supporting a diverse application across the industries and enhancing the user engagement and satisfaction. Now, there are some application of this content-based recommendation approach. So in entertainment platform, Netflix and Spotify are the greatest example of this content-based filtering algorithm. They both using that and to recommend the best movies and songs related to that user's preference. Second application is e-commerce platforms. So Amazon and Flipkart both are using the content-based.
Dear presenter, you have 2 minutes left.
Okay. But there are some scenario related to Flipkart, because Flipkart is using content based with a hybrid approach. So it use the content based and collaborative both approach parallelly. And for news and media platforms, Flipboards and Google News both are using content-based recommendation engine. So there are some comparative analysis. Some model we already used and some researchers also done the research in this content-based filtering. So as we can see, a cosine similarity model is giving a highly accuracy rather than all other models. Studies available on the internet. Second thing, we have collected some data sets and some studies related to that content-based algorithm. So as we can see, in one of the data set for the song, which is related to song, and in that particular database, SVD model has performed the 76 percentage of the accuracy, right? Same way, the Twitter dataset, which is already publicly available, and we have performed the GNN on that, and it gives the 84 percentage of accuracy to us, right? Same way, there are some data set which we can use to experiment or give a result or taking the result for these recommendation systems, right? So there are some data sets publicly available. Okay, go for the future direction. So first thing is context aware recommendation, right? Integrating a contextual factor like a time and location. That two things we also can not these two, but all other things we can add to our data or our parameter to more accurately recommend the product and other things. Second is knowledge infuse the system. We can enhance the recommendation by incorporating the external knowledge source such as a knowledge graph and other things. Second is a hybrid approach. We can combine the content-based filtering and collaborative filtering and knowledge-based method to address the limitation of each, improving accuracy and diversity. Case in conclusion, context-based recommendation system here involve significantly leveraging the advanced technique like machine learning, deep learning, and feature extraction to provide the personalized suggestion. Now, these challenges such as a cold start and data sparsity are the scalability remain. A future direction like a content awareness recommendation, knowledge infused system, and explainable AI and hybrid approach are offering a promising solution to the enhance the accuracy and diversity and user trust. And there are some references I have used in my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, sir?
Yeah, just yes. Raj Popat, you are BTech student, right?
Yes, I am a fourth year student.
Okay, that's great. I appreciate your efforts for this research, as at least you are writing paper in this stage. Uh, what is your recommendation for data sparsing problem or challenge?
Sir, of course, in some particular area where we use a recommendation, but data is not enough for that particular uh, model or recommendation system. So, what we have done, we have used some dummy data for a starting period of our model, and we train the model into that it give a sufficient accuracy to the user. So content-based recommendation system use some techniques. So that techniques do not need too much of data like a collaborative. Of course, collaborative approach need too much user interaction data, but content-based do not need too much data. It use some simple item profiling and feature extraction from the data. So it is solve that data sparsity problem and cold start problem also.
Okay, and in which language you do to develop this model?
Python.
Python. So, is there any what dealing Python specific library by which you can sparse matrix and sparsing of the data?
I don't remember exactly, but I use a simple library like sklearn and some plotting libraries like matplotlib and all that things because I use the pre-trained models for at particular stage of this research. I will continue my research on next stage where I myself develop one model that use recommendation to all this type content based collaborative and hybrid.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Raj Papat. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. So we have our next presenter, Ankita Bhatia, who would be presenting a paper on empowering rural women in South Asia through fintech, contribution to sustainable development goals and entrepreneurial growth. You can start sharing your screen, ma'am.
Deepika, the one is missing. Again, absent is?
Yes.
Okay.
Till then she can continue so that if they join again, we can take them.
Okay, sure.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so good evening once again to respected chair, sir, and all the fellow members present here. So I'll be presenting another study of mine that is empowering rural movement in South Asia through fintech. So I'll be talking, this slide is appearing very text heavy, but I'm going to speak very precise on it. That as we all know that fintech has revolutionized the financial landscape and it is providing various opportunities to unleash unlimited potential and growth for its growth and empowerment. So for this study, we have especially targeted women and that too South Asia rural women's and how the fintech is giving them a considerable impact on broadening the financial access. So with the help of these fintech revolutions, we'll try to map that whether the inclusions of the fintech advancements is able to meet the sustainable development goals. So which all sustainable development goals we'll be trying to map will I'll talk about it in due course. So, when we are talking about the literature that is available in rural women, so they have also joined the formal banking channels with these services, like through fintech services, and they have it has actually transformed the whole process, connecting the fintech financial tools, and that have enabled those rural women with entrepreneurship and economic empowerment. Going to this slide is actually is the crisp of the literature review which I have conducted. So it is talking about the fintech's role in enhancing the financial inclusion, entrepreneurial intentions, and economic impact. And aligning the columns are talking about like which SDG they talk about. So it was the Commonwealth Secretariat Report 2022. When we are talking about SDG 8, decent work and economic growth. So Paulus et al. 2021 has spoken about entrepreneurial intentions and economic impact. So similarly, on these way, I have conducted the literature review pertaining to various SDGs and who all have postulated about them and what they have highlighted in the context of fintech and financial inclusion. So in the best interest of time, I am moving ahead. So in the crux, we can say that fintech, the literature is broadly talking about that how fintech can empower rural women by enhancing the financial inclusion. And that can be aligned that it is meeting the SDG 1 that talks about lowering the poverty. Then it can also empowers by promoting the entrepreneurial intentions. It also can advance the gender equality. That is SDG 5. So these studies have shown that there has been significant reduction and increased access to the financial tools. Coming to the theoretical framework, broadly for studying these concepts, we have adopted three theories, that is gender empowerment theory, technology adoption model, and rural development theory. By integrating these three theories, we have come up with our conceptual framework and how it can achieve the research objectives. So we'll be talking about that. So here is another table that will talk the mapping of the theories in line with their applications to fintech. So gender empowerment theory basically focuses on increasing women's access to resources and opportunities. So this theory particularly talks about the women's access and coming and application to fintech is like fintech provides new financial sources and it can enhance the women's equity. Then followed by the technology adoption model, it assesses the user's interest in technology utilization. So as we are talking about the inclusion of the new financial advancements and fintechs, so it will help understand rural women's adoptions of the fintech levels. The last is the rural development theory. It basically advocates for integrated economic and social development. So when in terms of fintech and its application, it can support the broader economic and social integration. So, research methodology, the approach is very simple one by reviewing the literature and the case studies, uh, especially from the South Asian region or South Asian countries like Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, India, and the explicit focus was given on the fintech's role in financial inclusion and entrepreneurship because one of the SDGs is also talking about entrepreneurship. And as I already spoke, that case studies have highlighted the practical applications. So these are few case studies which we referred to, like Internet Sathi in India, uh, on digital literacy for e-commerce. It was Bcash Bangladesh that has transformed the mobile transactions and which ultimately boosted the local economies. So the findings are that these were able to, the fintech were able to actually reduce the poverty and fosters the entrepreneurships. So this is again the table which talks about these cases in detail, their authors, the country of origin, and what was the motto of the case and their impact. Internet Sathi was in India and it improved the digital literacy program and improved its impact was clearly drawn on that it improvised that digital literacy and enabled e-commerce. Bcash was in Bangladesh. It was on boosting the mobile transaction services. So it increased the financial independence, enhanced local economy of rural women's. Digital payment system in Nepal, mobile financial management promoted the financial autonomy and decision making. The last one is microloans in Sri Lanka, gives the microloan access and enabled the business growth and economic development. So now in the next slide, I am going to show the conceptual framework which has been drawn by us that will talk about how fintech adoption can empower the and rural women's empowerment in South Asia and how it can empower towards achieving the sustainability goals in more effective manner. So this is our conceptual framework where fintech adoption can empower and can help in increasing access to financial resources to the rural women by giving them access to savings, credit, insurance. And we also spoke about technology adoption model from where we have seen that perceived ease of use will enhance the user friendliness, the interfaces, the localized content that will help the rural women to understand the interface, and then it will ultimately help in improving
Dear
the
presenter, you have 2 minutes
yes,
already.
which will lead to economic and social impact, that is the poverty reduction community. And access to financial resources will also lead to increase in the economic empowerment, which in turn, this is a two-way cyclical process, and it will bring in the independence and the bargaining power that will also ultimately lead to the economic and the social impact, that is a reduction in poverty and community. So contribution to sustainable development goals, we can say no poverty, fintech facilities, gender equality, fintech can bridge the gap, financial gap, providing women the independence and empowering them economically. SDG 8 is decent work and economic growth. So fintech can fosters the entrepreneurship opportunities, which promotes the sustainable economic growth. So these were some of the things, and these are the strategies that we can incorporate fintech into the national financial inclusion strategies. We can develop the infrastructure to support digital services. More and more investment can be encouraged to develop. More and more programs on digital literacy should be promoted. The future directions of the research could impact the assessment studies to conduct regular impacts of the fintech assessments. It will the future research can also focus on developing more and more innovative financial products and scalability. They can work on the future research can also draw upon the scalable and sustainability models, that how the existing fintech applications can be made more scalable. And the cross-sector collaborations can also be done with the help of fintech companies, governments, NGOs. So this we have already discussed, and the conclusion is that we can still say that by investing more and more in fintech, it can empower rural women, aligning with SDGs 1, 5, and 8. Significant economic and social benefits could be observed, and it can certainly act as a catalyst for sustainable development. So these are references we have referred to for a paper. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Ankita. As this is your second paper, I congratulate you.
Thank you,
give
sir.
two
A third
papers
one is
back.
also coming up.
Okay, one more is there. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So in both the paper, one thing which is common going, that is the sustainability, right?
Yes,
And
sir.
when we talk about the sustainability development goals, so how you can um, take the favor of goal number 5 with your this empowerment of fintech through fintech in rural or urban women.
So like, sir, we can see that the SMEs that are being run by rural women. So nowadays, with the help of the apps and the digital literacy, they are able to, access more kind of financial resources, be it in terms of the credits or be it in terms of savings, be
Yeah.
it in terms of the insurance. So that,
What I'm asking is SDG 5, which is gender equality.
okay.
So how you can take the favor of this SDG 5? As in your light conclusion slide, you said that the SDG 5 is also incorporated with this. So gender equality को कैसे आप justify करेंगे? This उस particular जो goal है उसको कैसे justify करेंगे with your this study?
सर वही मैं कहना चाह रही हूँ कि जैसे मैंने बोला कि फिनटेक जो है हमारी चीजें, जो फाइनेंशियल टेक्नोलॉजी एप्लीकेशंस हैं, वो हमारी रूरल वुमेन्स को ऑलरेडी बहुत एम्पावर कर रही हैं in terms of, like, they also have not, their digital divide is not a big issue, so they also have access to various apps. Through digital literacy awareness programs, they are able to access to the credit system, loan systems, उन्हें credits मिल रहे हैं. They can understand कि how we can do savings online. They can they can take loans also. So like, these are some of the things which have been observed, and by also running some campaigns that we saw in the case studies also that were discussed in the paper, like Bcash, the mobile transactions, and in India also we had Internet Sathi. So we have seen that these have transformed, and like rural women are also able to like, we can say they're also able to take the advantages of these financial advancements and the technical solutions that are coming in the financial sector, that which is making them more empowering them more economically, and they're able to make more informed and informed decisions in terms of finance, and they are able to like, they'll be able to sustain with their businesses. So this way it can help, and we can say that it can map, the fintech can bridge the gap between the gender equality, means it will be able to achieve the gender equality goal. which otherwise would not have been possible if they would not have been given access of mobile phones and the fintechs, which apps which are available nowadays.
True, true, true. So providing some tools, providing some support and some training, we
Yes, sir.
can justify this,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
These are
Thank you.
already happening, sir. So it
It
was
is going on. It's
a
going on
study.
now. It's time to scale up it. To scale up.
Scalability, right? Yes, sir. Scale up it. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you,
Okay. Thank
Ankita.
you. All
Thank
the
you.
best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
So the next presenter is you. Do you want to take a break or can I
No,
call
no, I'll
the
continue and I'll wrap up.
you'll continue? Okay, all
Or
right.
if you wish to give a chance to other group, if they are willing to present, they can. So I'll
No,
be,
no, that's not a problem. If you
you
want
can
to take a
ask.
break, then- there
Yeah.
is one presenter who's left. There is at the end. Indra Lochan Kumar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
If
To
you're
ask
ready with
Indra,
your
if he is
uh,
available, so he can give the presentation,
yes,
right?
sir. Yes. No, no, he's at the last, sir. But it's okay if she wants to take a break.
No, no, I'm fine. If he's not available, I'll continue.
He is available.
So,
Yeah.
is my slide visible now?
Just a minute. So are you going to present?
Yes, yes, I'll be presenting. No
Fine,
problem.
fine, fine. Okay, yeah. Share your screen,
But
please.
I think you should take a break, Dr. Ankita, because it will really it will confuse to me also.
Okay, sir. As per your instructions, sir.
If you will say one more time the sustainability, na, so I think I will go in depth of that. So
Now, the topic which I'm going to tell you is my real PhD topic. This was my PhD scholars. So,
okay.
yeah, okay.
All
No,
right, so we have our next presenter who
Yes,
would
we
be
are having this
presenting
Indra.
a paper on transforming query responses, integrating audio and visual context extraction techniques. Yes, sir, you can start your screen, sir.
Am I audible, everyone?
Yes, you're audible. You
Yeah.
can share your screen.
Thank you. Thank you. Just a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can start, please.
Yeah. Hello, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for giving me this opportunity. Today I would like to present my paper. This is regarding transforming query responses using integrated audio and visual context extraction techniques. So I'll just go from the basic so that we have a little bit context of what I'm going to talk about in my paper. So to go into depth, the initial topics would be what LLM is, what ChatGPT is, what context is, what embeddings are, etc. Right? So let's just start from there. Initially, what LLM is? LLM is a large language models, which are text-based models. These are models that you have obviously might have used, such as ChatGPT, Claude, Mistral, etc., etc. These are machine learning models which use previous data and annotations to predict what the future could be. This has many types of architectures. It could be transformers. They could be bird kind of architecture. They could be constructed, deconstructed type of architectures, etc. So there are many variations of what an LLM could be. But one thing that is common for all LLMs is that they work on a text to text base of models. So what do I mean by text to text base of models? Text to text is basically the response that you get and the input that you provide is in between the text to text. This has now slightly evolved into the other media as well. That could be either PDFs, MP4s, images, etc. But this is a very recent development because LLMs initially are based upon text, right? This is the common base that I want to set for this paper. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about is the context. What do I mean by context? Context is anything that adds a little bit of meaning to the conversation or a piece of info that we are having, right? So let's say if I give you some random text that doesn't have any kind of meaning to pertaining to what I am trying to say or what I am trying to explain, right? So having that context is very, very important, not only for humans to have that conversation, but is also very, very important for
machine learning models or LLMs to understand what we are trying to say, so that the output that it generates will be according to our parameters that we are going to provide, right? So here, my paper, Transforming Query Responses, Integrating Audio and Visual Context Extractions, is a measure in terms of adding more contextual information to that particular LLM. The general context is for an LLM is generally a textual context. That could be either a text that you write down, such as a prompt, right? Or that could be another PDF or another document word that you provided, right? These are the general textual context that you generally have. But in this digital age that we have, we also have evolved to have multiple types of media that we consume. Humans not only have textual based systems, but we also have multimedia rich and data environment that is pertaining to the MP4s, the videos that we view, the images that we the see, right? And the audio that we hear. These are also another form of data which are in general not available as a context to the LLMs, right? So our problem was to provide this particular context to the LLM to give it a way more contextual understanding to give us a good response in the output. So that is the general and layman's term kind of a situation for our problem statement. And to define how we concluded to reach to particular solution, I'll give you the process of how we went there. So initially, when I was in my BTech examinations, I wanted to have a video of a professor which I could understand way better and then ask questions to that particular video to get the response. When I was searching for that particular situation, I couldn't find that anywhere. So that is when it struck me to why not make a contextual understanding LLM, which could not only take that video as a context, understand the meaning of what that video was happening to be or going to be, and then respond based upon that particular context to us. That could be either a question answer situation or a particular topic that we couldn't understand, etc., etc. So, yep. And moving on, the research and the limitations that we have is based upon the current systems of LLMs and multimodal ML models that are multimodal ML models are models which not only pertain to the textual kind of part of it, but also to the other multimedia frames. So here, I'll give you a general system of what our solution was. So in order to provide that LLM context from a multimedia format which is not supported, we have taken two steps. Initially, the first step is to for a MP4 kind of a situation, for a video kind of a situation, we have taken the video, which itself might be of a 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute kind of a situation. We'll take that video, we'll split it into frames. As we all know, a video is nothing but transitioning and fast forwarding particular frames. This in general could be any frames between 60, 30 frames per second, right? These frames, we have taken them, extracting them from that particular video that we had, and then we are processing this particular frames to a model, multimedia model, which is a blip model. Blip model is a captioning model, image captioning model. So it's a machine learning model which takes in the image or the frame that we provide and understands what the context of that particular frame or the image is and returns the context in a textual format. So what we are trying to do there is to give in a image format and getting back a textual
Dear
format,
presenter,
right?
you have 2 minutes.
Yep. So in terms of
Your
that,
slide is still in the abstract session.
sorry. Yep. Yep. Here, going to the computer vision systems. So I'll just come start from where I have left off. So yeah, I was saying that the image processing that we did is to give in the frames. We'll get the captioning from that image taking that context and adding it to a pool called as. We also have a audio processing system where we process the audio using Whisper model, which is a large language audio transformation model, which takes in the audio and transforms it into a textual format. So based upon these both the captioning, image processing model, and also the audio processing model, we can transform a whole video into two parts, splitting it into two parts, the audio part and the video part, and then we'll process them separately. The image processing context will have in a major part, and the audio processing also will have in a major part. Both combined in a scenario will be the original context for that particular video. And this is where we found another problem. The problem is that the frames that we had for all the different video for one particular second is many of them are duplicates. So let's say 1 second could have up to 30 to 60 frames. Majority of those frames are the same or duplicates of one each and other. So what we had to do is to find an optimization algorithm to separate the different frames that we have in that particular video, so that we will be reducing and optimizing the computation power that we required and increasing the quality of the context that we are receiving, right? So for that process, we have stumbled upon the structural similarity index. I'll go slightly in terms of what structural similarity index is. It's a image comparison model. So it basically takes in different types of principles such as luminance, the contrast, the structure of it, and unique identification. So it takes two different frames. It will identify between the differences between two of them, and we'll get a particular score. This score is the similarity score of two frames. Based upon this similarity score, we'll check if the similarity is closer to 75 or not. If they are 75% closer to each frame, we'll discard that frame and we'll move on to the other frame. So that we'll removing all the duplicate frames that we have in a particular video and optimizing the whole situation, right? And then after passing this SSIM video processing, we'll get the output context. We'll pass that output context to the particular LLM that we have. Here, the problem, the general problem of without the context is that we have hallucinations. Hallucinations refers to any information that LLM could think that it is the relevant information, but is generally not. So these hallucinations issues would be removed from this kind of contextual approach. These could be in the causes of hallucinations could be biased training data, overfitting, lack of contextual understanding, which we are trying to fix, right? There is also a RAG system. RAG, or a retrieval augmented generation, is a generation system where you have an embedding part. Embedding is basically a package formation where you have vectors. These vectors are a mathematical representation of the data that we already have, right? These data we store and then we process only the required and relevant data to that particular context. Rather than sending the whole pot of context, we'll only give the relevant amount of data only for the particular query that we have, right? This gives us major advantage in terms of optimizing the contextual extraction for us, not only for MP4s, the images, the audios, but then is also very, very useful for us in terms of the output generation. The evaluation metric for this is response time, how quickly the responses are generated using the contextual techniques that we have, the accuracy of it. These accuracy generally pertains to the contextual data that that particular video is having, user satisfaction, the satisfaction of the
So
user, and the
kindly come to
reliability.
the conclusion, sir.
Yep.
Conclude, please.
Getting back to the conclusion, so this contextual processing technique offer in for the image processing and audio processing is going to revolutionize how we are going to get the context to that particular LLMs. So this model will have most and major chunk of the data and the context, which will be very useful for us to get the output, relevant output that we are looking at. I would like to conclude by saying that thank you so much. I think I've taken too much time. Sorry about that.
It's okay. Thank you.
No issue.
Any questions, sir?
This time, no question, Indra. Just can you give the outcome of your this research in 2 lines?
Yes, sir. So initially, let's say if we have a video which we pass it to LLM, it doesn't have any context. So let's say we have a video of horses running, and initially when we give the question of what is there in the video, LLM returns nothing because it doesn't have any context of what is going on in the video. But when our system, the algorithm that I have developed, is passed and the context from it is passed to that LLM, it will be available and it will understand what is going on in the video. So let's say there is a video of a horses running with no audio, nothing. Initially, the LLM could not understand what is happening in the video, but when our contextual understanding is added to that, it will understand that there is a video in which horses are running in a
Okay.
beach,
So,
etc.
means your algorithm uh, trained LLM to understand what is in the video. That's what.
Yes, yes, based upon
Okay.
different techniques. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. All the
Yep.
best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So we have our next presenter, Ankita Bhatia, who would be presenting a paper on regulation of fintech robo advisory services. Ma'am, you can start sharing your screen.
It is showing me the pop-up replace current share.
You can again start. Just do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So, is my
Yes.
slide
Yes.
visible?
Yes.
Okay, good evening once again, respected chair, sir, and other fellow members. So this time I'll be talking about the regulation of fintech, that is robo-advisory services. So in this particular research, I have explicitly focused on a financial and a fintech product that is called as a robo-advisory services. So what these services are all about, first I'll tell in a very crux manner that what happens is that these are automated digital advisory services that operates on certain algorithms at the back end. So what happens is that being an investor, when we get on board on a particular robo advisory platform, it asks us our user preferences. Like what is your investment horizon? What time duration you want to invest? Which are the sectors do you want to invest in? What is your age? And like risk profiling it does. And then the second step is that it analyzes the data. So it cross checks your data with the current market trend and current market rates. And then third step is that based on the analysis and based on the formulas that are being built on the algorithms, so based on the algorithms, it will give you the portfolio recommendation. So now the portfolio recommendation, the fourth steps comes that users have to review that portfolio recommendation, and if they find that they are in their best interest, they would accept it or otherwise not accept it. If they accept it, robo advisory services will then get the signal and it will invest on your behalf. So this is the partial robo advisory services, means it is partially automated. Now, when we are talking about the Western countries, they have a fully automated version of the robo advisory services. I means like currently the India is standing at version 2.0, that is where the human intervention is needed. It means when the user is providing the feedback, then there are some humans in the middle office which takes the instructions and then on behalf of them they invest. However, in the Western countries which have pioneered these robo advisory services like Betterment and BlackRock, they have fully automated services. Like they only recommend the portfolio and they only automatically invest on behalf of the investors. So this is the basic idea of what a robo advisory services is. Now, uh, this in our country also there are various robo advisory platforms. So some are exclusively working on this area, some are working under the different umbrella services, like some brokers are providing robo advisory services. Some mutual fund houses are also using robo advisory services, or they are offering these services to the retail investors. Some are using it for their high net worth individual investors. So they use more sophisticated forms of it. So now the question arises that it is completely an automated digital online platform services where you are investing your money. So as our country is a developing country, and we know that how much our money matters to each one of the retail investors. So I'll be particularly highlighting about the retail investors and how much important it is for them that the services should be regulated. So what is the current state of their regulation in context of India and outside also, and how should we proceed? And what are the experts' inputs for this? So in this study, we have actually tried and attempted to understand that what actually the experts thinks about that how should the regulation takes a trajectory path. So as I spoke about that, it takes the user inputs. So that has been already spoken about. On part of the literature review, like the evolution of robo-advisory services has majorly taken place post 2008 financial crisis. That means that was the subprime mortgage crisis, and it has substantial exponentially growth globally. And when we are talking about India, we are now projected to reach 4.95 trillion US dollars assets under the management by 2027. So the source of my this data is a Statista, and so basically what is it is doing is that it is challenging the investor trust, data protection, and regulatory gaps. Now, I have done literature review in some other context also, that what if there is an absence of regulatory services and what challenges a regulator can face while regulating these services. So absence of concrete regulatory framework for such kind of online platforms could pose systematic risks for investors. So that is very general. So, and that is also in question that if algorithmic recommendations by robo advisory services, they themselves are biased, so it could pose an unjustifiable risk for the retail investors. So similarly, on the other hand, what challenges regulators can face while regulating it is that there are many fiduciary responsibilities which otherwise a human advisor is bearing. Like when we are approaching a financial advisor, so it is the duty on them also. But when robo advisory services will come in the full fledged, who will bear the accountability for that? So, how should we proceed for the regulation of it? Now, how to gain the investors' trust is the another challenge. And innovations like RA services that every now and then they are being adopted, and there are various ethical considerations also that has to be taken care by the regulators while imposing the regulations. So these are few challenges, and being a machine in the front of it, then ethical considerations could be quite challenging. So going to the next slide. So for this paper, my research methodology flows like that. I have adopted a grounded theory approach. My this research is pure qualitative in nature. I conducted semi-structured interviews with 18 experts, and the experts were from different domains, like in IT industry, somewhere from legal industry, and somewhere from technical background also, IT, legal. Uh, and I use the snowball sampling technique. So why snowball sampling technique? Because I had no clue that who knows about robo advisory services, how many of them are using it. So with the help of referencing, I could be able to reach to the another respondent. Those were referred by the earlier ones, and that's how I could able to approach and contact 18 experts. Coming to the data analysis part, again, I did the thematic analysis to identify the key themes. And now here, I have not used any software. I have used the grounded theory approach, and I have did the content analysis. So I am highlighting the themes which I have drawn upon with the verbatims as in the actual words which were spoken by the experts. So I'm not going to read between the lines, but I will only highlight few important points. That the very first point highlighted by the experts were for investor protection and data protection, that it is crucial for investors to know if all information provided them are secure or not, how data with service providers are being secured, and how it is used. So there needs to be a stringent guidelines on part of this. So this was
Dear
the
presenter, you have just 2 minutes. You can start
second
to
one is
conclude.
for building investors' trust. So it is very essential that for long-term sustenance of RA services, investors' trust should be built. So regulators should strive towards bringing firstly the transparency by these service providers. Still, we don't have any strict regulations in place. So more and what kind of algorithms they are deploying, what kind of information they are taking from the investors, whether the risk profiling is that is bringing in the consistency or not. Then to avoid mis-selling of commission products, who knows that whatever recommendations are being given by robo advisory services are already being commissioned by some mutual fund houses or by other robo advisory services. So from that perspective also regulation is expected to come, and regulators should have an eye on such intentions if any, so in the best interest of the retail investors. Third is to prevent the market imbalances and risks. So, like non-tech savvy or maybe the naive investors who are new to the market, could they and they are not well through with the digital online platforms, maybe some investors from the manufacturing industries. So they can give the wrong inputs and could misinterpret the advice at times. So there should be regulations also that ensures that interface used by them are user friendly and should be avoidable. And for that we can launch different versions by having it in different languages, and algorithms that are also used should be producing the goal based and custom based advices. So these are the highlights and these are the cyclical diagram of the themes. So where the discussion, it throws to the discussion that RA services, that are robo advisory services, provides convenience but pose data and trust risks. It needs for user friendly interfaces, and regulatory framework therefore is essential for long term sustainability. So the conclusion is that comprehensive regulations needed to protect investors. It should ensure data security, and a robust framework can foster the sustainable growth in fintech. Future scope of the work is that quantitative studies can be developed, and trust building mechanisms should also be incorporated or inculcated in robo advisory platforms, and it can focus on scalable and ethical robo advisory solutions. So here are some limitations. So this is the where limit was limited to 18 experts and was limited to the geography of India. So it can be expanded. And the identified themes were merely under the current state. So it could further be provide another interviewing avenue for further studies. So that's all from my end. Thank you. Thank you, sir, and thank you, everyone. These are few references I have referred.
Thank you, Dr. Ankita.
Okay.
And at this point, I would like to congratulate to present all three papers in a row
Thank you,
in
sir.
a single session. Normally, it is very difficult to present a single paper also. So you have a great research attitude. And for
Yes.
this paper, I think I don't think that I am having any query.
Okay, sir.
No. So
Yes.
thank you you very much. Over to you,
Thank
Thank you.
Deepika.
Thank you, sir.
thank you. Thank you.
For
Thank
your
you, sir.
valuable input, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Can I leave the room?
Just a minute.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think we will take one photograph. So please.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Definitely.
sincerely thank our authors for their excellent presentation and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. I, on behalf of the entire team, thank you for your participation during the ninth version of this conference and the previous 8 versions as well. We hope to see you in the 10th version in 2025. All would be getting their certificates through email within 2 working days, and the papers have already been forwarded to the Springer board, and the publication will be live within 6 months. So kindly cooperate with the team of ICTCS 2024. I also thank our session chair, sir. Thank you so much for chairing the session, sir. Paras Kothari. It was great to have you on this platform, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I request all the participants to just turn on their cameras for a quick snapshot, please. Raj, can you just turn on your camera, please? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Parag sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, sir.
And all the best. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deepika ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.